you will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man,
MH.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here today, we're bringing you back inside the locker room where we talk about topics in and around the game. MH, you ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So today, man, I think it's that time, right? It's almost like it's Christmas probably for us, but it's just kind of one of those things that signify or just really bring home that football is back, right? It's coming. And we just want to talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame game and the whole enshrinement weekend, man. So I'm gonna let you start it off, man. What's like a well, I guess I'll ask a simple question. Have you ever been to the festivities?
I've never been to the festivities during this weekend. I wouldn't call it a bucket list because I think it's attainable, but it's on one of my kind of to-do things in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame on a couple different occasions. One kind of in a working capacity, doing something with some youth and high school kids there, doing some 7-on-7 stuff at kind of their complex, and then obviously having the time to just visit and see all the busts and go to the store and see the stadium, just all those things that are attached with it. I've had the opportunity to do it, just not this weekend, No.
And I think that's a great place to start, right? So just kind of, we've both lived in, different cities. So kind of growing up in the Ohio area, that was one of the things that, you did for your football team, right? So I played high school football in the area, and that was one of the things that we got a chance to go. We would go up there and visit the hall. And of course, it was definitely a really cool part. And it's grown, right? Because they're doing a lot of stuff with the, a lot of people are building complexes and building like a whole kind of entertainment, thing around it. But yeah, man, that's a great point, man. And that was, I think, my first kind of inception to the Hall of Fame, and just like getting there, walk through the bus, reading the names, and just getting that feeling in the hall, right?
Yeah, and I think it kind of, while this weekend or the upcoming weekend of the enshrinement is celebrating those that have had a career and obviously an outstanding career, I think the Pro Football Hall of Fame does a good job of kind of incorporating all levels of football into just kind of their programming and especially that weekend, because to me, that's how football works, man. Whoever's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, everybody started somewhere, right? So there's a grassroots element to it, and then obviously, high schools, as you mentioned, play right in that facility throughout the year, and then obviously you get to the pro game that's going to be this week with our local Las Vegas Raiders playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then obviously celebrating those that have had excellent careers as their kind of like final part of their football career. And I just think that's the beautiful evolution, like the circle of life, if you will, of football. So they do an outstanding job, and that's the place where football started.
Absolutely. Canton, Ohio, man. So let's talk about the game, the matchup. So, our hometown team is there. So, gotta, appreciate that. And we do have some, legacy players there. But I want to start with the game and get your thoughts and opinions on this. Mm-hmm. So the order that the enshrinement used to be is the game used to be the capstone, right?
Yeah, that was the captain. Yeah. And
then now it's the lead off, right? So what's your initial thought? How do you feel about that? Because like I don't know, and maybe there's a reasoning behind it, but just what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I don't like it.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. I don't like that shit. Like and usually I attempt to like go home around that time, and like you have the game on a Thursday, and so coming from the West Coast, man, that like I mean, you got to get out there Wednesday, and the way these flights looking, the way my checking and savings account works, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out there. But yeah, okay. So I don't know why either, but it doesn't make sense for me. Only thing that I could say, if there was some logical reason they did it, is to keep up with the Thursday night, right? So now they can make this their first Thursday night game, because they've been really pushing to make, because Thursday night started off as trash, right? And the Jaguars were the Thursday night game of choice anyway. So it's
Sure.
only, no, that was a joke, but
Yeah.
no, only thing I could think of is like, Monday night has its staple, Sunday night, and then they're attempting to build this Thursday night thing. So why not make, an extra game on Thursday night with this? But I don't like it.
I mean, you're probably spot on with it. Obviously Monday night, as you mentioned, has its lane. Thursdays kind of have it's starting to develop its lane. I mean, there was traditionally like two, obviously like turkey games and Thanksgiving games with the Lions and the Cowboys always has a game there, and then now there's a third game that's an evening game, and then obviously the Thursday night schedule is fully a part of the season throughout, and maybe the Hall of Fame kind of echoes that too. So I think you're right on that. Is probably like, hey, football is going to be on Monday, Thursdays, and Sundays in the NFL. So
NFL.
we're going to keep it that way.
We're going to keep it that way. That's what it is. We done kicked down the door. We in here, and that's what it is. So, okay, we're glad we're on the same accord with that. And then how much play do you think we're going to get, right? Because like, it's first from the starters.
Well.
We ain't gonna get a series, not a snap. Like,
no, I doubt any. I don't know, but I would think, it's just trending in that direction that a lot of starters league wide don't really play a lot of preseason games. I think the number one goal for everybody is to get to the regular season healthy. So I guess that limits the toll on the body, and then you kind of want to see the depth of your roster. The great thing about football is however anybody's roster looks right now we're taping this August the 2nd, by the time December 2nd come, I'm pretty sure it's going to look a lot different, right? So
a lot different.
You got to kind of develop your depth.
For reasons too.
For a lot of reasons. So you got to kind of develop your depth, and this is kind of the first shot at doing that. It's just seeing what you have as a complete roster.
So we're going to see that.
So to answer your question, no, there ain't going to be too many of them.
That fifth linebacker.
But it's crazy, man. Like the one of my, like, when I think of the Hall of Fame game, like there's a couple things that pop up to me. One, that nobody's really going to play. Two, is like, man, football's already here, because it happens like early August, and you just got done with the Major League Baseball All-Star game. Like, dang, football is really, really here. And then I guess the third piece is Sean Taylor. Like Sean Taylor, to me, like he just popped on the scene, and like he had like a real game during the Hall of Fame game. Pick six and
Hall of Fame, Pro Bowl,
just immediately
one-on-one drill. This motherfucker
immediately he was like, "Oh, this is a Hall of Famer right now. This is his first touch in the NFL. He was already that guy." So those are the three things that pop up to me about the game.
No, absolutely. So we'll see. And like the selection of teams, like I wondered how Jacksonville, other than my lame joke earlier that they are a Thursday night, the original Thursday night football team, and then the London Jacksonville Jaguars. How did that become the team they got to play?
I don't know. I don't know if they want to showcase the number one pick from last year.
That's my only thing.
He's a quarterback, although he probably won't play that much. Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's like usually, I mean, I'm not knocking, but usually it's like the team with the most Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
or like
exactly. Yeah.
And I don't. Do they have a Hall of Famer in the Hall yet?
Well, I mean, Tony Boselli is going in this year.
But do we?
And so he's a Jacksonville Jaguar. So I guess that's the reason why. I mean, I would have liked to team him up with like Fred Taylor. We can kind of get him in there. I think that would have been fitting. But yeah, I guess Tony Boselli will be batting cleanup in the speeches lineup. So we'll see.
So you brought this great point. So who do you think is going to close?
I don't know, man. Like it doesn't.
Because sometimes they like it seems like they think about maybe who's gonna. I always wonder how they pick. You know, do they pick straws? Do they just kind of think like who's gonna bring the biggest audience? You know, is it a time thing because this is on TV? So they're like, you know, because we know who some
Yeah, ain't
people get
nobody
long
touching that
winded up there.
record. Yeah,
Nobody's touching nobody.
we know nobody's touching. Um,
Uncle Ray Ray,
yeah, Deacon Ray. Yeah,
Deacon Ray
Deacon Ray didn't even have a mic. He had the headset on. He didn't even have a podium. I was like,
is sweating.
What sweating? He preaching out here.
He was definitely surprised they passed
Get
collection.
Get an offer it.
Hey, he was like, "Yo, we try to build a new wing. You know, this ain't
Yeah.
my house. This the Lord's house."
Yeah, I don't know who that is going to be this year. That's interesting. You know, unfortunately, there's a couple of obviously the Raider Cliff Branch is a long time coming for him getting in the Hall of Fame, and then Sam Mills. Both of those gentlemen are no longer with us. So I wonder how that happens. And kind of who receives their enshrinement. So I don't know. I'm interested to know. I mean, that lineup may be out there. I just haven't seen it. I don't know who's going to close.
So no, that'll definitely be interesting.
LeROY Butler, that'd be my guess right now.
Gonna go with LeROY.
I'm gonna go with LeROY. He's a DB. DBs like to talk.
I think that's a safe bet because Richard Seymour, I don't see him really, but he may surprise, but I just really don't see him like coming out with a long-winded.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe you can't have
Dick
a coach
Vermeil.
go last. Dick
You
Vermeil
can't have a coach go last, right? No.
But they probably get him first because he's gonna cry over 4.5 times. So they'll probably get him going.
Start him out, kind of
go ahead and get this going, man.
He'd probably like be somewhere in like early middle, right?
Yeah.
Because like people be out there and it's like longer than like he'll tug at the heartstrings and then they'll bring somebody to bring it back. So we'll see. But no, it's interesting who they choose like to to bring them out and to like uncover their bus and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now is that the first time they see it when they uncover it? Like, because they sit down for it and then they like get the renderings and things like that. Is that the first time that they actually see it?
I think it is.
Is it? Because like how they start looking at it a little bit. So I just wonder if like.
Yeah, I think it is, and it's got more interesting year by year because now we like. I don't know. Maybe Dion was I don't know if Dion had the bandana. I know he put a bandana on it during his enshrinement speech, but like Ray Lewis, I think his thing had like the little the little wave cap thing. So I don't know. Maybe they
was happy because his had hair on it, right? Like he is
facts. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it is their first time seeing it. I'm interested to see how they those look as well. That's always entertaining.
And like, what's the the crafting process, right? Because like, now you damn near got these printers, you just push a button and they print. Like, are people still like, the craft and the art of like, producing them? They need to do like a 30 for 30 or something on like the
making of it.
Yeah, because like, we've gotten so much history about like, the Tiffany trophy for the Super Bowl and, and all of that stuff. So I wonder how like the shrine process goes. So that'd be interesting to see.
I mean, no disrespect to Canton, but I would think, to keep on brand, it had to be a good slow process to it. We can't make it go. We can't make it be too forward in technology wise to make it happen. It got to be a process, right?
Facts. And I mean, I think that goes into the whole thing, right? Like it takes a career, right? What everybody goes through to have this culmination of making into. So hopefully they protect that, man. Oh, and if you don't, man, don't tell us now. Now, not too much. Point that out.
Yeah, let's keep it authentic.
But no, they do a great job, right? Like it's turned in from just those like one day thing, and it's turned into a weekend to where they like have a parade. So it's gonna be interesting because who is your boy? A Florida guy who had the what do you have? Do you have the dunk like all colored out? Who was it? Wasn't Edrin because I was down for Edrin. Oh, I'm forgetting now. I'm gonna find that picture. But like they had the parade, and they get to ride the different cars for the parade. They have the youth football kind of thing where they have the clinics and do that for the youth football.
Yep.
And they're doing like concerts and stuff like that. So it's really turned into like a whole big weekend. So definitely, want to figure out a way to get back down to there because I don't know if I'm gonna make it this year, but I'm happy to see that it's grown.
So now at the dinner, right? They have like a dinner where they actually get their jackets.
Yep, the gold
Am I?
jacket dinner.
Yeah, yeah. Have you been to that?
No, not been to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think that would be the part of the weekend I would want to see. It's funny, like the speeches now they got like a nightcap to them all. Like I remember my dad saw John Madden when he went in.
Mm.
It looked like it was hot, right? So they must have switched that up. It wasn't good for TV. See everybody sweating up there, but yeah, I think the jacket ceremony is something that I would like to kind of see, because then you get to see really, all the Hall of Famers that at least that are in town,
Right.
kind of really share that moment with the new members moving in. So
And it's
I
good
love
to
it.
see them all on stage, like the ones that
Yeah.
make it on stage, like you get that part. But the fun part is, so, there are like the NFLPA throws a party.
Hmm.
That's cool because, they're in a different element, right? Like it's them telling the jokes, joking on each other. Like, and we've seen Michael Irvin like on behind the scenes.
We
So
have.
he has nothing but jokes. He can carry a room, and like that's him 24/7. So it's good to see them like around, the other alums, the other gold jackets, like you said. So I'm sure that dinner has that same type of energy. So that would be definitely one to try to get to.
Yeah, and just the last thing on this is like, I mean, kind of the good thing about the Hall of Fame that I think is unique to football is like there's not really a disrespect for errors, right? You see in basketball, and JJ Redick was calling some of the yesteryear basketball players, plumbers.
Mhm.
But you don't really see that in football. There's an appreciation for every era of the game. And if you're a Hall of Famer that went in the Hall of Fame and from playing in the early 2000s to 60 and 1970, there's a respect, a mutual respect um, of your era and of what you've done in your career. And that's really special. Even Major League Baseball, we just talked about on the previous show, like Barry Bonds, for whatever reason, is not in.
Mhm. Or they
And
want to
it's
talk about asterisks and
and they want to talk
all of
about
this.
it's not a celebration of everybody's era. So I think football really does it really well, where they really celebrate um, individual accomplishment, no matter what the era is.
Absolutely. All right, man. And
That's
bringing
why
us,
it's the best game, man. Shit, that's why
I mean, it's a
football is the
team
best game
sport,
out
right?
there.
Like it's
Yeah,
a true team sport where it takes 11 on 11 to get things done.
facts.
So there's no ISO ball or, however many other things that you can do in other games. So no, it's definitely good to see that. And that's a true testament. So just kind of wrapping this up, man. Who's not in that should be in, or who, maybe not that question, right? Because Lord knows how they kind of come up with that and maybe how they miss. But
Right.
who do you think is going to be on the next ballot? Who's up? Do we have a list of who's up for, or who should be in?
No, I don't. Not prepared for the for game time. But I will say somebody that I think that has been up,
Mhm.
and I believe should be up, and he's mentioned it late as the DB of the show. I think one of the next DBs that should go in is definitely Asante Samuel.
There's an
Mhm.
animal in the attic.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Asante didn't like that.
No, he didn't. No, he did not like that.
No, I think Asante Samuel should be one of the next ones to go. I mean, his career numbers speak for themselves.
Mhm.
He played on a kind of a generational team, obviously a dynasty in the Patriots. And as that dynasty starts to get older and obviously is kind of, finished now with Tom Brady moving on, they got to celebrate those that made that a dynasty. And I think Asante Samuel is a big piece. Ty Law recently went in. Richard Seymour is going in this year. So you start
How
to
long
see.
went in, what, 2 years ago? 3
Mhm.
years ago? Yeah.
Yep. And you're starting to see more and more Patriots go in. So I hope Asante Samuel's on that short list of guys celebrating that era.
So what's the wait limit before they have to go in after they're done? Is it after they're done playing? Is it 5 years, 6 years, 9 years?
Oh, until they're eligible?
Yeah,
I think it's 5 years.
5.
Hmm.
All right. We got some time for some of these people that are in this, and I think how they're kind of choosing the people is always tough too, right? Like who's getting the vote? How's the vote kind of happening? Like, why are certain people? Because like they did, T.O. had to wait a while for it, and he got it, and then he didn't even show up. That's all.
Yeah, he had his own celebration.
He had his at his HBCU. He had his own party. So I wonder if he's even going to go. Like now that he's got the jacket, does he even go to these events? You know, like, or is he like forever banned? Because he just got his a couple years ago, and we've had the pandemic, and it's been slow. So I wonder if he's going to show up.
I mean, he got to, right?
I mean, he should. Like you made the statement. Not go be with your, you know, that's an elite team. You know, you're a part of something. You wanted to get in it. You had the numbers to get in it, so you should definitely be a part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're going to talk about, you know, all the positive, I mean, I guess that's kind of the negative drawback of it too. You know, obviously the media and writers have a good say in who goes in, and if that relationship is however tarnished a little bit, maybe that's part of the reason why T.O. wasn't on first ballot. And then there's another thing that you're just like, oh, this person should be first ballot. That's a whole nother like section of Hall of Famer, which, you know, it should just be Hall of Famer, but you got to be.
Does that matter? I mean, it would matter to me.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they're all competitors. I'm sure it does matter. Yeah,
I didn't think of it like that from that point of view.
Yeah,
but then I mean, to ultimately get in, though, right?
That's what I think. I mean,
that's
from a scrub talking about it. I'll be happy just getting in, right?
That part.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Nah, congratulations to the O's that are getting in the Hall of Fame this year. I know well deserved, obviously. Doesn't mean anything coming from me, but I'm excited to celebrate those that have got in. And football's here, bro. Football is ready. This is my favorite time of year. This is a time that I always liked as when I was playing. I liked training camp. I liked the camp part. I liked the early scrimmages. And then because when the regular season starts, just like you just, you know, practice and
you're just in it. You're just
game
in that
planning. You just in that. Yeah. Like I'm ready for basketball season.
You're like on the Cincinnati,
and my feet hurt. Right. So, nah, this is the best time. That's the most exciting time to me to be around football. So I'm hyped for it, bro. So it's here.
Me too, man. Football's here, man. Excited, man. All right, well, hey, thank you for listening and tuning in today. As you know, episodes drop every Thursday. So since you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you definitely know that. But please also follow us on our other social medias, IG, Twitter, and Facebook. And we're wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there, man. So stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.